everything you need for a great holiday. And a state-of-the-art workshop with a service team of 7 qualified experts. So for a bigger range, an even better backup, see the team at Prestige Caravans, Geelong.
So, Alistair Lynch, you've observed something down there on the boundary line?
Yeah, just saw Sean Hart get his first touch in Origin football, and he replaced Brad Shaw on the half-forward flank.
So we did see a picture there of Stuart Lowe, and the player presently manning up on him is Ryan O'Connor, and they've got Dion Scott in the ruck. Matthew Phoebe under enormous pressure. The ball spills for Hocking. Have a look at him. He is an absolute desperado. Matthew Young trying to get clear of half-back. Knocked away by Crawford. Still Matthew Phoebe, harassed by Lucas. Thompson underneath, and the umpire will bounce about 65 to 70 metres from the Victorian goal. 48 plays at 28, a 20-point advantage. We've got 12 minutes left in the second term. You can see there the umpires officiating in tonight's game. Lowe doing the ruck work, taken by Ashcroft, kicks towards the wing. Good effort by Blakey just to make a contest. McGrath down the line. Johnson caught, harassed beautifully. The numbers in favour, or they were. It's going to be a turnover, is it? By gee, it's a great struggle, isn't it? Gary Hocking, little hand pass, releases Johnson. Johnson to the forward 50. And knocking it away there from Stuart Lowe was Ryan O'Connor, successfully over for a throw-in about 55 metres from the Victorian goal.
Just a battle in the end then, wasn't it? At which side got the numbers to the ball. The Victorians had the numbers, and sometimes the ball, when you're delivering it to someone, it doesn't have to travel that far. As we saw on that occasion, Hocking just releasing his teammate, and the handball probably only travelled about 6 inches. This is what Damien Drum had to say a short time ago.
Just get Jolie Bowden out of the forward line now and get Cockatoo Collins to work Stevens back into the goal square.
So wanting to get Bowden out of the forward line and Cockatoo Collins going forward. Good to set up here. Crawford's been good. Gets it to Creswell as the Allies stream forward at centre wing. Blumfield. Long way from the goal. Kicks across to Harrison. A bit of indecision. Crawford, one of the best players for the Allies. High kick, just hoping Everett here. And Archer eyes for the footy. Takes an easy mark. Burke to Johnson. Johnson delivers to half forward. Front spot was Campbell. Campbell's got Everett running loose. He's got him now. In fact, the big Spider can kick this. 55 metres out, leans back, kicks right to the goal square. Chance for Lowe, still with Lowe. Good effort, O'Connor. Then he must have run it through for a behind. So a point to Victoria, 7-7, and the Allies are 4-4.
And once again, Spider Everett just showing the value of a ruckman that's prepared to work from one end of the ground to the other. He was across half back. They broke the Victorians, and he followed the play right down, found himself a bit of space, and in the end some good defensive work there by Ryan O'Connor.
Mooney from the kick in goes wider to Crawford. Crawford very skillfully gets past his opponent. Dick Foss gets it to Cresswell. Cresswell's kick will land close to the wing. Everett in front of his opponent, who was Blumfield. Blumfield's recovery a bit better than the big man's, and a good reach with the right arm gathered by Bowden. Lee Matthews had this to say.
I reckon tell Berkey to have a little bit of a spell off it and put Steve-O into the centre square.
So we've just seen Anthony Stevens in that passage of play have an effect going down the ground, but it's taken by Danny Dickfoss out wide. A good mark taken by Young in front of Lowe. St Kilda teammates 1 week playing against each other in a State of Origin game the next. Short kick taken by Mooney again. Mooney had kicked a goal early for the Allies and went onto the bench. Harrison kicks it forward, and no mark taken there by King, was it? Rowan Smith and Joel Bowden. Umpire calls for a bounce. 7-7 plays 4-4, so the Allies hanging in there. 49 plays 28. And we're more than halfway through the second term. So with a handy advantage at quarter time, only 1 goal to Victoria, 2 goals to the Allies so far in this second term. It's right in the goal square for the Allies, taken away by Stevens. He gets it to Mansfield, and Michael Mansfield, with plenty of time. He's had 3 bounces going down the ground.
Runs a fair way on the Third one, kicks to Lucas. Kennedy with him. Young there. Lucas' back turn was good. Comes back to Hocking. Yet another possession. I think number 12. Kicks wide and it finds Andrew Thompson in scoring range. Kicked 2 goals in the opening term. So some very good work out of defence there by Victoria to send Mansfield away, and he was able to penetrate and run a couple of lines. And Thompson's kick is a hook, and it's a behind. So Thompson with 2-1. Everett got a couple of goals in the opening term. Ronnie Burns has kicked the goals in this quarter for the Allies. Matthew Campbell is 4-4 to 7-8.
Yeah, Bruce, Damien Drum's taking a bit of a risk. He's taken his tallest player, Dion Scott, off the ground. It looks like Darryl White might have to be used as a ruckman.
Thanks for that. Phoebe's kick wide. Mooney's had a pretty good patch here. He's worked really hard, gets it to Creswell. Creswell rather cheekily to Phoebe. They're in a bit of trouble, but he gets it out to Dick Foss. And here's Damien Drum on the phone just a moment ago.
Aaron, go forward, and play centre-half forward. You've got to present yourself whenever we need you, buddy, OK? You've got to present yourself. The other thing is, if we kick a point, and so if they kick a point and it's our kick in, and they do a 3-quarter press, your man Legion comes up, go back to the goal square.
So Damien Drum talking to Aaron Hamill there. He's about to come on, and Burns on the end of it. Some good play. Darryl White again involved. And White and Burns have really stood tall in this term particularly. White's mark in the first quarter was absolutely outstanding and gold. So White's been good. Burns with a couple of goals in this term. Kicks from 45 metres high. As it drifted across, he might have just missed. I think you said earlier, Tim, on the run, it might have been Robbo, but on the run, he's so good, was you, Tim? He's so good, and he's kicked 2-2 tonight. There's Dion Scott, and both his misses have been from set shots, and his goals have been from on the run.
Bruce, you mentioned about Mooney. He's taken 7 marks, Jason Mooney, so far in this game. And Damien Drum with some more instructions, but we're going to watch Creswell have a shot for goal, I'm sure. But maybe while he's setting it up, we might hear what Damien Drum did have to say.
You there, bud? OK. If Burke comes off the ground, comes off the ball to have a rest, and it's OK for Croft to come off the ball and have his rest with him, OK? That'll send Mickey Martin on the ball. Just make sure Mickey Martin understands it.
Cresswell shot for goal. The people behind the goals think it's a goal. It is.
G'day, Dougie here. Right now you can buy your favourite footy players in 3D from your local Tat Lotto outlet. They're called Tat Lotto Magic Vision Collectibles, and don't they look magical? Have a look at this. They can win you a share of $500,000 worth of bonus prizes on Prime. So hurry into your local Tat Lotto outlet now. Check out the whole range of Tat Lotto Magic Vision Collectibles and ask how you can win your share of bonus prizes.
7-8 to 5-5, so the Allies closing here. It's been a very good turn for them. Make that 5-6 to 7-7. And there's been an infringement in the centre square, and as so often the case is over the years, the team is having a bit of a run on, seems to get those free kicks. Kicks the ball inside the 50. Campbell didn't take it. Hudson, his little kick off the ground a moment ago, was effective. Campbell out wide. Johnson, beautiful take, and then fended off and was able to get a kick away, but only as far as Mooney. Kicks out to Harrison. Here's Lee Matthews.
Now let's tell Steve, though, to take Creswell, right? So Anthony Stevens to take Creswell. Tell him he's had 7 positions so far this quarter. OK, so just try and just shut him down for the quarter on the rebound, OK?
So out on the 4, and the message from Lee Matthews is to try and close Creswell down, because he's had a lot of possessions here, and Anthony Stevens to go to him.
So too is Crawford in this quarter too. Crawford's up to 14 possessions, Creswell's up to 16. So those players generating a lot of drive in the midfield, and that's really where the Allies have more than held their own in this second term.
Hudson chips once wide, big fly. Was he dragged down? Crawford, Burns, no, couldn't quite. Got through, it's a behind. And the Allies close to 12 points here. Burns has had 5 shots for goal and kicked 2-3.
Bruce, it did actually look as though White was dragged down here after that first attempt to mark. Maybe a bit unlucky not to get it.
He does have those go-go gadget extender arms, doesn't he, Darryl White? You think the ball's gone right over his head, but somehow he always seems to reach it. On that occasion, just not able to get enough fingers on it.
I think he's got all the Inspector Gadgets tricks, Tim, and a couple extra up his sleeve. Harrison's been all right. Gets the ball at about 70 metres. Kicks too wide at centre half forward. Good fly at the back by Michael Martin. Allies doing all right. Bowden trying to get it out. The numbers with Victoria. Colbert did well to Campbell. Wobbles one in the low and Kennedy direction. Bouncing ball. Lloyd went to ground. Matthew Fever. Now youngest under pressure here. Still under pressure. Had O'Connor. Didn't use him on that side. Went wide to the boundary line. Kennedy, good job. Very well done by Kennedy. Winning a few one-on-ones at the moment, the Allies. It's Cockatoo, Collins and Mansfield in the front spot. Victoria in the right place. Colbert free kick. Advantage given to Mansfield. No advantage at the moment. Turns his man inside out and then kicks the ball out on the full. Well, you can be stiff.
That's a big advantage call because Michael Mansfield was looking straight at two Allies players, so didn't really have far to go.
Phoebe, short one in, again danger. Free kick to Hudson. Well, that was very fortunate from an Allies point of view.
Most definitely, and Paul Hudson has the football. He's across half-back with possession number 7. Into the middle of the ground, Matthew Phoebe leaves it for Harrison. Harrison quickly on towards half-forward. At a Victorian mark taken in that position by Rowan Smith. Looking to run on. Hand pass away to David King. King, his kick smothered off the boot. It goes in towards the middle of the ground. Colbert, well. Archer in strife. Mansfield, they are in strife. Bowden, tackled by Campbell. Ball to Cresswell. Burns again. Can Ronnie Burns kick his third goal? He's missed.
Gee, Cresswell was good then, wasn't he, Timmy?
Yeah.
He really felt what was going on, didn't he?
He's got a great feel for it. He knows that he's not a speedy player, so I guess he's been able to develop that instinct over the years that he's played AFL football. But Ronnie Burns, fascinating once again. Burns is trying to play out the goal square, but King is moving up the ground. And if there is a turnover, and King can be caught out of position like he was on that occasion.
Kick 2 for Burns. Here is King. Oh, he's gone. He's holding the footy. The advantage given. Cresswell's going to kick it. Yes, he's got it. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the post.
The fun is about to begin.
Sunday, 8:30, the smash hit movie premiere.
Good shot, Little Wing.
From the creators of 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, no.
It's everyone's favourite funny man.
Okay, we'll have this up in no time.
An irresistible comedy about love,
We can go to bed right now.
life, and being a dad.
Can't get any worse than this.
Farrah Fawcett, Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, and Chevy Chase, Man of the House. Sunday, 8:30.
See, that was close to hitting the post.
Did shave the post.
Well, a coat of paint in that to coin a phrase. Anthony Stevens trying to force the ball clear from the centre bounce. Blakey harassed well by Hamill, and Hamill makes the ball his own. Kick intercepted. So the rebound now for McGrath to centre half forward. Gary Hocking from here really should kick a goal. He's unselfishly given the hand pass to Lowe. Lowe high, gets under it and missed a golden opportunity. Gone.
Tim, what do you reckon about this one? Did this shave the post at all, do you think?
I'm certain it did. Just watch this very closely. Just the bottom of the post there.
Oh, I don't know.
I do wear glasses, though.
Kick in taken by Michael Martin, the Western Bulldogs player. His kick into the centre. Good, strong mark to Mooney.
This bloke's been good in the second term, Robbo.
That's his 8th mark. And short passes all right. Cockatoo Collins, beautifully taken by Hudson. Paul Hudson from about 60 metres goes long. Ronnie Burns could have nearly shepherded that. David King's kick off the side of his boot. Still a rare, a miserly opportunity there for Ronnie Burns. Couldn't do much with it. And we'll hear from Alistair Lynch down with Dipper.
It's probably worth noting that Victoria have had to restructure their forward line. They've put Everett the full forward and Stewie Lowe out to centre half forward, and that's probably mainly because of Mooney in the centre. He's taken, I think, about 9 or 10 marks already in this game, so he's starting to cut them up.
He certainly is, Alistair. Hudson trying a real specky there. Ronaldo would love that one on the weekend, but one of his kicks off the ground tonight was pretty effective when it landed in Creswell's lap about 35 metres out. So the Big V being challenged strongly. Archer's kick out, kicks the ball back into the centre. Allies with numbers. Mooney, can he take it cleanly? He did very well. Burst the line, 60 metres from goal, kicks to White. White at the back, able to make a contest, spins out of trouble. Oh, just misses. He is electrifying. Doesn't the pulse race when he gets near the footy?
Just an example again, sorry, John, there, of just forcing a contest on that occasion.
Copped the high one after he...
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Bruce. It looked as though he was hit high as he kicked the ball then, but not paid.
6-9, 7-8, Archer's handball, good to Johnson.
Gee, what's it going to be like when he gets his hands on the ball a bit? He's had 7 touches. Now the advantage is with the Victorian side. Running onto this is Matthew Lloyd. Little kick into the goal square. It will be marked by Peter Everett. No, it won't. Well, it's a free kick. Was that a free kick, John?
Well, they're instructed to pay a free kick if, in fact, the player waiting for the mark is contacted firmly from the front. And there it certainly did look as though Everett, sitting there waiting for the footy, was contacted firmly from the front, and that was what the free kick was paid for.
Well, just when the Allies didn't want Victoria to kick a goal, Peter Everett gets a very soft one. So the Victorian side's 8th goal, they're 8-8, 56, leading the Allies 6-9, 45. We're close to half-time.
Well, they just had all the play here and the turnover there. Clever kick by Matthew Lloyd. Just watch this late contact there by Ackermanis. There's no doubt about that. That was a free kick. And I think Lee Matthews would be a little bit unhappy at the half-time break with perhaps the lack of intensity with which his players have played this second term. They've certainly tried to be a little bit too cute with the ball, and the Allies have taken the game right up to them.
They certainly have. Allies 6-9, trail Victoria 8-8 with a minute left in the second quarter. And Jeff White, who'd had such a very enterprising first quarter and a half, he's back. Have a look at the leap. Sensational leap, and taken away by Hocking. Well tackled by Ashcroft. This ball spills for Ackermanis. Still the Allies. Crawford, Rowan Smith, knocked away from him, gathered by Blakey, gets the handball wider still. Johnson creates some space for himself, then goes short in towards full forward. Everett, it rebounds for Lowe, or rather strange looking hand pass gathered by Lloyd. Now the chance for Victoria with Scholl. Back to Gary Hocking, kick across the line to a 1-on-2. Oh, great effort, top effort by Mercury. Gee, you've got a bonus when you start Mark Mercury on the bench. He's had a short run on the ground, and he's marked, and he will kick from about 40 metres out, slight angle.
In fact, it was Darryl White that made the error here. Just watch the kick, the central kick here by Hocking, and White should have helped out there on that occasion with his teammate Mooney.
The angle being confronted by Mark Mercury to the goal line. He's missed. So a fair bit of inaccuracy by both sides. Ronnie Burns has kicked 2 goals for. The Victorian side have 4 rush behinds. So kicking right up to the goal line, being forced through for a couple of rush behinds by the Allies.
Short to Dick Foss from Young. Half-time here, so the Big V lead by a couple of goals at the long break. 8-9 to 6-9. But they led by 26 points at quarter time, so it's a 4-goal-to-2 second term for the Allies, and they've set up what will be a very, very interesting and entertaining second half. It's been a good contest in the first half. Plenty of outstanding highlights, none better than Darryl White's big grab. Ronnie Burns has been good. He's had 6 shots for goal. That man Peter Everett's kicked 3 so far. Victoria led by Nathan Burke. They'll be disappointed. Mark Mercury will be disappointed. He got a chance late, took a very clever mark, but missed from inside 50. Young's got his hands on it a fair bit, made a few errors for the Allies under real pressure in the first half. Ashcroft's been good. They've had a lot of good contributors, none bigger than Mooney, I felt, in the second quarter, and Creswell has continued to get hold of the footy. So plenty of interest here at half-time. Remember, the Allies, only their 4th game. They came together in 1995. They beat Western Australia at Subiaco that year. They lost to Victoria in a spirited contest at the MCG a couple of years ago, and last year defied the odds by beating WA for a second time at Subiaco in what was a real thriller, 18-8 to 16-12. But we go back.
That's a worrying sign there, actually, Bruce. We saw Matthew Knights with an ice pack to his hamstring, and he left the ground, I think, in the first quarter. May have been early in that second term. And I'm sure all the Richmond fans back home.
Might have to stay out, mate.
So Knights going forward.
Actually, we're coming in.
Sure. And just now the scoreboard. Just checking on the scoreboard here. I think the umpires are not happy with the main scoreboard. The main scoreboard at the moment says 8-9 to 6-9. It was different to our score halfway through that second quarter. Now, the half-time score is 6-9 to 8-9. We'll let you know exactly what the score is when we come back here.
These are State of Origin Men of Steel, and 4:30 Saturday, two states collide. SA, home of the Premiership team, face the very best of WA. Then live 7:30, see the Anzac spirit stretched, thumped and lived in all its glory. At war, they were the best of mates. In World Rugby, age-old enemies. The Bledisloe Cup, Australia, New Zealand, and State of Origin's Men of Steel, presented by Prime, your Olympic network.
Go to McDonald's now to play McMatch and win Monopoly. Just peel back the label, match the properties, and you can win some amazing prizes. Like one of 8 fantastic new Land Rover Freelanders, so you can escape for some serious fun. Or one of 30 Air New Zealand family holidays, including 15 to Disneyland. So for your chance to win a big prize, fly into McDonald's today.
I do.
And do you, Irene, take this man, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health from this day forth, until he leaves you in 11 years' time and takes off with his blonde receptionist in a convertible Saab, leaving you with a station wagon and a house you can occupy, but only until such time as the children leave home.
Life doesn't always turn out exactly as you hope it will. And you never know what the future has in store. Shouldn't you have a financial plan? National Mutual, helping you take control.
Walter Lindrum's record billiard break, set in 1937, still stands today. Surprising, isn't it? Like Moama Bowling Club, having more bowling greens than any club in Melbourne or Sydney. It will surprise you.
Stories break. We're there. Events occur. We're there. Lives change. We're there. People speak. We're there. This is the world we live in. This is The Advertiser.
Your Team Mitsubishi dealer group are proud to present the all-new Magna Solara, an exceptional opportunity to secure luxury extras at no extra charge. The new released Magna Solara boasts factory air conditioning, cruise control, alloy wheels, special interior trim, exterior paint treatment with body color grille and moldings, and distinguished Solara badging. A total of $3,600 in extras at no extra charge. Test drive your new Magna Solara at your local Mitsubishi dealer.
Welcome back to the Gabba here at halftime. The State of Origin match between the Allies and Victoria. Good crowd here on a good night, and the official score at halftime is Victoria 8-10 to 6-8, so it was changed. It's gone from 12 points to 14 points, so the Big V lead 58 to 44 here at halftime. Well, Teddy Whitten, the best player, will receive the E.J. Whitten medal. Teddy Whitten, when we think of Teddy, we think of a whole host of things, what a great player he was for Footscray over so many years, but also the way that he promoted State of Origin footy. And appropriately tonight, he's the subject of our Mitsubishi memorable moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome E.J. Whitten.
There have been few more moving moments in sport. Ted Whitten gravely ill doing a final lap of the MCG before the interstate game between Victoria and South Australia. A moving farewell to the man known as Mr. Football. EJ met each of his beloved Vics individually. His eyes that day, St Kilda captain Danny Frawley.
Teddy didn't want the players to realise that he was blind, so he'd come over and plug it, wish him all the best, and I'd wink at Gary Ablett and he'd come over at the same time. So my emotions are going up and down like a yo-yo, but he was very strong throughout the whole experience.
2 months later, Ted Whitten passed away. He would be honoured with a state funeral for his services to Victoria. Ted Whitten, a Mitsubishi memorable moment.
Yes, who could forget that moment with the late E.J. Whitten. Well, it's a good game, Tim. There's no question about that. It was a terrific opening by Victoria. I thought their first quarter was outstanding. And then in the second quarter, the Allies came back strongly.
Well, I think they got their matchups right, didn't they? They really rotated their forwards. They got Mooney into the centre bounces, and he was brilliant in that second term. Creswell and Crawford started getting a lot of the ball. And also, I thought they picked up their play across half-back. They got the matchups right there. Kennedy started to do a reasonable job on low. Everett went out of the forward line, so they didn't have to worry about him. And once they got down, they actually started to get the ball at ground level. They started to set up some offensive attacking from that half-back line. They were very good in the second quarter.
No doubt about that. The Name a Game video that we've been promoting throughout the year, if you'd like any game this year, including this one, and without the commercial breaks, 1800 035 665 is the number to ring for Name a Game. We're going to take a break, Tim, from the Gabba. You'll be joined by Robbo after this to analyse the first half.
It's an issue of growing concern.
The victim of a home invasion, violent assault.
But what if the abused was a man?
Get away! He's quite confused. No, he's not confused. He's crazy.
And the accused, his wife. All Saints, Tuesday, 8:30.
A vehicle is more stable when it's driven by four wheels because it has twice the traction. The all-wheel drive Subaru Liberty transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. It's the ultimate safety feature. From $27,990, all-wheel drive Subaru Liberty. Designed for life.
Now's the time to race in the Vita 10 for these great bonus buys. The Klima column heater is $169 with a bonus towel rail. Get a bonus with this stainless steel saucepan set at $99. And this Wiltshire Laser Edge Plus knife set at $19.95 also has a bonus. So for big bonus buys, race into Mitre 10 now. Mitre 10, out of 10, every time.
Go to McDonald's now to play McMatch and win Monopoly. Peel back the label and match the properties to win. There's Land Rover Freelanders, Air New Zealand holidays, PlayStation packs, computers and more. So make tracks to McDonald's today.
Bendigo's new force in bedding and furniture, Furniture Power, are open Saturday and Sunday for a huge blackout clearance. Ex-franchise stock must be cleared. Truckloads of direct factory clearance stock, price to go. Prices crash on Furniture Power's huge range of bedroom suites, inner spring mattresses and bases. Plus, selected great value power packs. Special prices on lounge suites, occasional furniture and dining suites. Tony and June Power, with experience and an exciting new product range in a once-only blackout sale at Furniture Power this weekend.
Now's the time to consider locking your home loan into a fixed rate. Call Westpac on 131 900 now.
Tuesday.
You must be due soon, huh? Last Tuesday.
When push comes to shove, all Diane really wants is a hassle-free birth.
Can't do that! I can't do that!
But that's not going to happen.
She could die.
Chicago Hope Tuesday, 9:30. The #1 lifestyle program. Better Homes and Gardens, 7:30 Tuesday.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with cheese, wet cover, Tattlesall's and Cadbury Mark of the Year.
Welcome back to the Gabba. If you've just joined us, Victoria by 14 points. They lead 8-10 to 6-8 after an entertaining first half of football where we saw the Allies get back into this game during that second term, and you've got a theory.
Well, I just thought I made a comment actually during the game that I thought Jeff White was playing a sensational game around the ground and getting up over the top at centre bounces. We did hear Lee Matthews make a comment through the airwaves that Jeff White should come off the ground, Peter Everett into the centre, and I forget Matthew Lloyd to full forward. And I think that was when the Allies got back into the game. Mooney came onto the ground and he was terrific. And we've seen some magnificent football. I mean, just Darryl White. We've come to expect this, haven't we?
That was an extraordinary mark, wasn't it? We'd actually been talking just prior to that mark that they hadn't been able to find a forward capable of marking, and then he just went right up and took an absolute spectacular grab.
Yeah, well, there was also a couple of just combinations between great understanding. I mean, Ronnie Burns plays for Geelong and Darryl White plays for Brisbane, but it looks as though they've played a lot of football together. Cockatoo Collins, this tackle by Matthew Knights I thought was good. The ball spilt free, great hand pass by Ackermanis, set Burns up for his first goal, but the understanding between Darryl White and Ronnie Burns has been sensational. Unfortunately, Burns hasn't been able to capitalise. He's kicked 2 goals for.
It'll be interesting to see whether the Vics stay with David King actually on Burns too, because Burns had a lot of ball in that second term. I just don't know whether they've got a better option down there, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not they choose to play someone else on him.
We'd like the blessing of a replay, wouldn't we? I think you thought that little hand pass by Darryl White was a slick little, maybe an EJ, you know, nearly a little flick pass, wasn't it?
Well, maybe. We talk about mistakes. There was a mistake made by Matthew Young in that second term that resulted in a goal. He really had plenty of time on this occasion, Young, and it's not being too tough on the young fella from St Kilda. He should have gone out wide with that kick. It's a dangerous kick to a 50-50 at any part of the ground. On that occasion, the turnover, and Stewie Lowe kicked the goal. On this occasion, this is what he should have done. He went out wide. That's the defensive percentage thing to do, and in fact, the Allies ended up clearing this ball.
Well, in the first passage, Gary Hocking got the ball, and everything he's done has been quality possessions. He's had something like 16 touches, and he's set it up. He just doesn't give the ball off. Mansfield, on this occasion, trying to get the ball forward. He let himself down a little bit here, Michael Mansfield, with what he would consider to be a poor kick.
OK, well, it's Allies trailing by 14 points at halftime here at the Gabba. We'll be back with more after this break.
This weather update proudly brought to you by Nissan.
Good evening. The clearing weather trend will continue. A large high will move into northern Victoria tomorrow morning. That means widespread frost, then a clear and sunny day in the south, becoming fine after a few morning showers, mainly about the Gippsland coast. Melbourne's weather, a few brief showers tonight and at first tomorrow morning, then a fine and mostly sunny day, a cold top of 12 degrees. Sunday, fine and a forecast high of 14. Good night.
There are a lot of car dealers making a lot of offers right now. But we challenge you to find a car that's better value than the Nissan Pulsar. Pulsar has air conditioning, a CD player, airbag, keyless entry and central locking. We challenge you to find one with all this for less than $19,990. The Nissan Pulsar. It's so weighed down with extras. Well, you get the picture.
Go to McDonald's now to play McMatch and win Monopoly. Peel back the label and match the properties to win. There's Land Rover Freelanders, Air New Zealand holidays, PlayStation packs, computers and more. So make tracks to McDonald's today.
Come on, where are you?
Oh no, it's Jimmy. He's fallen clean through the roof.
Jimmy. Oh, sorry, Mum. It's just that the babysitter's already here.
Is he breathing? Is he breathing?
Yeah, I know, he's always late. But if we miss the start of the movie, I'll kill him.
You didn't test it for his weight first, did you?
If you'd like to win,
your family. One of 8 dream homes down by the sea. Collect the caps, match your 7 at 7 on Sundays, and you can end up in heaven. Dice in a bottle, dice in the bottle, dice in the bottle. Sundays at 7 on 7. Dice in the bottle, collect the caps, collect the caps. Dice in the bottle, collect match win Sundays at 7.
Get a free pair of Levi's with the Nokia 5110 at $169 or the Panasonic G450 at $99.
Get a free pair with me too.
But you'll only catch this deal in Retrovision, where top brands cost less.
I got it at Abbott's.
I got it at Abbott's.
I got it at Abbott's.
Abbott Supply, Bendigo's leading suppliers of industrial and general hardware, fencing and steel, has got it all. All those hard-to-find items, professional and trade supplies, handyman supplies, fencing and steel, Abbott Supply has got it all. Forget the runaround, forget the frustration. If you're going to find it anywhere, you'll find it at Abbott Supply on the corner of Abel and Deborah Streets, Bendigo.
The fun is about to begin.
Sunday, 8:30, the smash hit movie premiere.
Good shot, Little Wing.
From the creators of 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, no.
It's everyone's favourite funny man.
Okay, we'll have this up in no time.
An irresistible comedy about love.
We can go to bed right now.
Life and being a dad.
Can't get any worse than this.
Farrah Fawcett, Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and Chevy Chase. Man of the House. Sunday, 8:30.
Welcome back to the Gabba at half-time. Victoria by 14 points over this team, the Allies, being led ably by Darren Creswell. Paul Hudson's had a fair bit of the footy. Ronnie Burns with 2 goals for. Darryl White has been outstanding. Kenny Rick Fox, a big job at the back on the Victorian tours, but they've stood up pretty well. Cockatoo Collins was pretty good when he came onto the ground, changed the balance of things, and the Vicks Hocking, well, how good has he been in that opening half? Stevens swapping places with Burke, as we heard from Lee Matthews. Jeff White, who has been very prominent. Matthew Lloyd's just had a bit of the second quarter, and Lucas kicked a goal in the opening term. So here are the scores. Victoria kicked 6-2 in the opening term, and at half-time, the Allies picked them back, and it's 6-8 to 8-10. Team stats for the Allies in the first half. Creswell will be up near the top, I would imagine. He's had a lot of it, and Burns with his couple of goals, and Crawford.
Well, they've been served well, haven't they, by Creswell and Crawford in the midfield. Burns has had a lot of the ball up forward too, and Mooney. And ironically, the Allies, we were talking about the marking power of Victoria coming into this game, but ironically, the Allies have taken more marks in that first half than Victoria. And the Victorian side here, Hocking's been a very busy worker around the midfield, and then it's just been an even contribution from some other players there. Glenn Archer's been good across half-back.
You know, it's interesting, you mentioned about Ronnie Burns kicking 2 goals. If he'd have kicked straight, the Allies would be in front. He's kicked 2-4 and could quite easily have been 5 goals.
No doubt about it. It's been great to be able to listen to the coaches. You wouldn't have been able to make that comment at half-time, Robbo, knowing exactly what Lee was thinking, would you?
Exactly.
About Jeff White. So that will continue in the second half with Damien Drum and Lee Matthews. Hope you're enjoying this State of Origin match around Australia on the 7 Network. From the Gabba tonight, 8-10 to 6-8. Victoria lead. White belting the ball out. Speaking of him, to centre half forward, Michael Gale getting a run. I think was on the interchange for just about the whole of the first half. Johnson gets it and slews it off the side of the boot. And Thompson's handball to Johnson, and it's a behind. We've got a big boundary line up tonight. Lynchy with Matty Campbell and Captain Dipper.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Lynchy, Darryl White, what's the situation with him?
Darryl White's in a bit of trouble. He's got a hip injury, and the doctor had a good look at it, and he's out there now, but he's in a bit of trouble, so hopefully he can hang in there.
Matty? No changes to the interchange bench for the Allies. Ackermanis, Bowden, Cockatoo Collins, Solomon and Dion Scott. And for Victoria, Peckett, we got Colbert, we got Andrew Dunkley, Hart, and of course we saw the Matty Knights come off the ground before the hamstring injury. I'll keep you up to date with that one, Bruce.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to find out how severe that is. Thanks, Dipper. 40 and the rest, 44 to 59.
And Jeff White, the jumping, leaping, young, athletic Jeff White, starting the second half. Dion Scott gets the tap in front of White on this occasion. Rugby style out the back to Campbell. His kick chopped off by Young. Young across half back for the Allies. Kicks to half forward and a good mark to Ronnie Burns. He's giving it off and he's giving it off brilliantly. Seymour a long way down the ground. Gets the first goal of the second half.
Well, that was great play by the Allies again. They're taking it right up to Victoria. Cross half-back, Matthew Young. That was just a good long kick forward, not giving the Victorians to set up their zone across half-back. Not enough time for players to get back in numbers, and then they just had plenty of space to operate with when they went forward. And Lee Matthews had this to say a short time ago.
Just on these matchups here, Scholl's got Hamill. Rowan Smith should have Hamill, and Scholl on Martin. That's a much better matchup. You tell them to think about their positioning.
Interesting stuff there, and the Allies have kicked the first goal in each of the 3 quarters tonight. They came out of the blocks with Mooney. They got a goal from Burns in the second quarter, and Seymour, an unlikely source, has got that one. 7-8-8-11, so this is the closest it's been since about 10 minutes into the match, with Victoria getting away to lead by 26 points at quarter time. And I think at one stage, the feeling was, as we look at the Victorian bench there, was that...
Lucas, Hart, Dunkley.
Yes, there was the big V were going to stream away and have a very, very big lead at half-time. It wasn't the case as Crawford goes for goal, and he's got it. A goal to Crawford.
Powerful. Provocative.
Our people?
Compelling.
Once were warriors.
For the first time on network television, the winner of more than 20 International Film Awards. Once were warriors, 10 o'clock Saturday on Prime.
They're heading it off.
You're probably a bit of a rogue, Mike Bradley.
Until a face from his past
Actually, I'm looking for someone.
tracks him down with some big news.
His name's Thomas. He's yours.
Heartbeat, Monday, 8:30 on Prime.
So after trailing by 14 points at half-time, it is just a 3-point advantage. White up high once again, down to Campbell. Can't really grasp
pushing
the
the back
football,
there,
and now he's being what was
pushing the back clearly. Campbell hovering over the footy and just pounced on.
So Campbell with the free kick in the middle of the ground. Kicks the ball to within scoring distance. Nearly a strong mark taken by Lowe, gathered by Young. Out wider to Ashcroft, gives away a little bit of meterage, but sets up Cresswell. Cresswell in turn out wide to the wing where Michael Gale marks. His hand pass, Young's in strife. Went for the fresh air shot. It may cost. The rebound, Blakey can't gather. Gale can. Nearly grabbed by the shorts. Handballs it down towards Harrison. Now they force it into the hands of Young. Over the head there of Dion Scott, but Crawford swoops on it. He's quick, but he slips. Left-hand hand pass out wide. Going down the ground there was the Allies player in Martin. Couldn't grab the football. And Tim McGrath in picture. We have stated that excellent conditions prevailing here in Brisbane tonight for this match. Dion Scott down to Nathan Burke. He's had a little bit of trouble getting into the play. He's had 8 possessions, but at this stage of the game, we've become used to the fact that Nathan Burke's had much more of the football. A couple of the youngsters there, Bowden and Lawrence.
And
Solomon,
yes.
On the bench for the Allies. Nearly kicked forward by Cresswell. Harassed nicely by Burke. Burns, Hamill, leaves it there for Mooney. Still a struggle across the half-forward line. White to Gary Hocking. Just a little topo. Gathered by Johnson. His kick ineffective. Gathered by Martin. He's got time to assess and then kicks across the line and finds his captain in Darren Cresswell.
Who's having a big match. To Kennedy. Kennedy to half forward. Good fly. Should have taken the mark. Hamill gets a second crack. Delivers to Crawford. Crawford could go all the way here. 50 metres out. Kicks right to the goal square. Good looking kick. Nearly a mark by Hudson. Archer forcing towards the line with White. And it's a boundary throw in.
And that attack of the Allies now, what they're doing is they're breaking up the defence of the Vics. They're dragging the defenders all over the ground, just making sure that they can't work off each other.
Mooney and White. White probably won it. Hudson spun out of trouble. It went through White's legs. Back with Burke. Burke in the back pocket. Squeezes a kick away to half-back. Front spot. Good mark by Blakey. On the defensive side of the 50 here, Victoria 3 points in front. Blakey, the oldest player out there tonight. Just a few months older than Michael Gale for the opposition. Lowe hacked it out of the air. Cresswell's had a terrific game. Young delivers towards Hudson. One hand couldn't take the mark. Cleverly gets back, spins, turns, kicks to the goal square, going close. Burns, it's a behind. 57 to 59. Hudson was pretty good early, wasn't he? Had a few possessions, then got it forward to Creswell in the second quarter with that kick off the ground. And right now, the Allies on top. They're enjoying a great patch. It's 57 to 59. Alistair Lynch.
Outside, our midfielders really picking up the game. That's the Allies, that is. The key defenders, Max Kennedy and O'Connor, they've really picked up their game and they're playing great footy and not letting the Vics have that aerial supremacy they had in the first quarter.
And I think, Bruce, you mentioned earlier in the proceedings that Paul Hudson has been a goal kicker for the Western Bulldogs this year. He's yet to kick a goal in this game. Blumfield out wide. Hamill, who's been a very good player for the Blues so far in season 98, goes short to Dion Scott. No one really running in support, so he decides to cross the man on the mark and kick to centre half forward. Punched away to the front of the pack. Darryl White beaten for it on this occasion by Gary Hocking to Rowan Smith. In turn to Stevens. He goes wider to McGrath. McGrath pinpoints his teammate in Thompson. Then Johnson. Johnson short. The mark is taken in the pocket by Matthew Lloyd. His first real chance at kicking a goal in this match.
Gee, they worked that ball well forward on that occasion, didn't they, from half-back with Gary Hocking. And it was Matthew Young who really was playing a long way off his man on that occasion of Andrew Thompson. And then good quick thinking there by Thompson just to chip the ball over there to Matthew Lloyd.
Well, Lloyd spent the first quarter and a half on the bench. We heard Lee Matthews bring Matthew Lloyd onto the ground when Jeff White gave way to Peter Everett, and Matthew Lloyd has kicked the ball long, and it may have gone over the goalpost for a behind. It has. So a disappointing result there for Matthew Lloyd.
Just watch this kick again. It's a very deliberate approach here by Matthew Lloyd.
So the kick in, taken by Kennedy, goes straight across the ground. Oh, great leap and mark. Terrific effort there by Blumfield. Exciting future for that young player. Out wide, the mark has been taken by Martin.
Who ran very hard and presented himself between half-back and centre wing. That's an ordinary kick to half-forward. Mooney gets rid of Scholl pretty easily. Then was going to go over the top, then tried to squeeze it to Burns. I think Ham was pretty disappointed that Mooney didn't handball it to him, and it's going to be a boundary throw in. There's Damien Drum, who must be pretty happy with the way the Allies have come out after half-time. They've carried on from that good work in the second quarter, where they got themselves back in the game by kicking 4-6 to 2-6. Here's the throw in. Mooney and White, the 2-31s. Archer, pretty happy, I think, Glenn Archer, just to see it.
Bruce, so we just talk on the
line.
boundary line down here that don't think the confidence doesn't play a big part in this game, because the Allies are certainly playing with a lot of confidence and going for the marks.
Blumfield's been a good case in that, hasn't he, Dipper, in this quarter, with a couple of terrific flies. One against Jeff White when he was out of position, and then a moment ago when the ball came in from defence. So
spot on. Now, just to keep up to date with Matthew Knights, he hasn't torn his hamstring. Good news for Tiger supporters. Only muscle spasms in his right leg.
Thanks, Tip. Ashcroft's little kick out of the air. King underneath it. Coming in was Harrison. Well done by Bluey McGrath. And here's Damien Drum, the Allies coach, as Smith goes down the ground.
Hammerlock for Bowden. Quickly.
So Hammerlock for Bowden there from Damien Drum. So he's made the move.
Probably just trying to get a mismatch in defence.
Here's Lee Matthews.
OK, let's get Justin Peckett on for Mark McCurry. Right. Now tell him they're running. Michael Gale's probably is now his opponent. He's running all over the place, going forward. So just try and give us some run. You're going to be playing as much a defender as anything. So let's get him on for Mark McCurry. Yeah.
Well, the advantage looked as though it was going to be with the Allies there, but Thompson, working all the way down the ground, has kicked it back over his shoulder, but a good mark taken by Young. Now, we have singled Matthew Young out for a couple of indiscretions, but by gee, he's had a fair bit of the football, 18 possessions to be exact, and Crawford gets it in towards the centre where Blumfield is marked. 8-12 plays 8-9. The lead is with the Victorian side, but it's just a very, very bare margin. Scholl has the football at centre half back, gets it out wide to David King. He in turn goes wider still. Mark not taken there by Thompson. Well played by Crawford. Handball into the path there of his teammate in Bowden. Not able to do much with it, so the ball will be thrown in. We see Matthew Knights all rugged up, sitting on the bench. He will take no further part in this game, one would think. We saw the bandage on his right thigh going in at half-time. Dion Scott just gets a little touch to it, which was vital. So was Mooney's touch. Michael Gale, tackled by Campbell, gathered there by Hocking, to King, sneaky little hand pass, Smith, breaking the tackle, Archer. That's terrific stuff. Mansfield to get past, and then the little kick into the path now of Scholl. Running beautifully in support as Campbell. Campbell towards full forward, and the mark taken by Spider Everett.
Good play at the back, wasn't it, by Victoria? Just played the percentages so well.
They had to work it though, didn't they? There was no clean, clear, easy possession back there. Once again, Hocking featuring in that play, but it was just a good kick, a well-weighted kick too by Campbell forward.
Well, Everett has kicked 3. He's kicking for his 4th. Distance not a problem. I think he's hooked it, hasn't he?
Alistair Lynch is 9-12 to 8-9. You there, Alistair? Okay, Gale at half centre wing. Back to Plumford. Actually, Everett's been the only source of goals for the Victorian team. He got that goal late in the second quarter against the flow, and he's kicked the first goal of the second half, certainly against the flow. Martin, Burns, nice leap, good, clean grab. Here's Lee Matthews' voice as Burns has it.
Stewie into the ruck, right? Lucas to centre half forward and wide off the ground. All right?
So Stuart Lowe going into the ruck by the sound of things as Scholl comes away and delivers to full forward. Everett, such a target, had a good run at it. Young, still with Young, well done. And delivers, good kick. Burns up the ground, he's got Martin on his own, and Martin can really run here. He's a very fast, or rather Bowden, I should say. He's a good kick, he takes too long, just floats one to full forward. Bad kick. Pecker gets back too lazy there, Bowden. Here's Damien Drum up in the box.
Okay, George, whoever's got Archer has to lead him up the ground, and at the moment that's Whitey, okay? Got to play him up around the 45-metre region.
Well, I think that's been terrific. People at home able to get right into the coach's box. So all the instructions going down to the bench, well, most of them, and the coach is pretty intense. This situation does desire that sort of intensity from everybody, and certainly the Allies answering all the challenges, and they're still in this game. Bowden, a big high leap. Should be a goal here. Seymour just couldn't quite get his foot to it. David King's little left foot kick's a beauty. He's a natural right foot kick, David King, and that was very good to Burke. Burke goes into centre half back. Archer, hand pass over the top. Quickly Stevens, very well done. Hocking's been a general around the middle of the ground. Can get the hand pass away, but puts Stevens under enormous pressure. Hudson going for his first goal, kicks into the square and gives it up. Puts it on the chest of Mansfield. Mansfield out wide. The Vicks could go the length of the ground here. Justin Peckett doesn't mind using the football. He's got 3 players in support. 2 players, Blakey. Not running really was Rowan Smith. Now Peckett's going to be forced to kick and kick to a one-on-one when maybe they, with a little bit smarter play, they could have carried it further forward. Misunderstanding there. Ball spills now for Scholl. Left foot kick, not good by Brad Scholl. Over the head there of Everett. Tidying up for the Allies is Ryan O'Connor. He goes wide, looking for Cockatoo Collins. Another bit of a mix-up. Cockatoo Collins grabbed by Burke. Ball spills for Ashcroft. Now Mooney to kick the Allies forward.
Hudson sits and waits. Pecker does a terrific job at the back. This Victorian defence has been outstanding in the last few minutes. Hocking with a bounce and then delivers to Lucas. Lucas through the centre, kicks to Thompson at half forward. Good stretch. Young's having a good quarter. Dick Foster Young, very good play. Young out wide, and Ashcroft's been good all night and takes a mark. He's had 14 possessions. Marcus Ashcroft into the centre. Cockatoo Collins gives off to Mooney. Mooney's been important. Kicks to full forward. Seymour's on the end, but Lowe gets back. and Lowe in the back pocket. Alistair, it went off a bit earlier. You're ready for a comment now?
Yeah, I've never seen this tactic before in league football. Joel Bowden was taken from the ground and not replaced. He then joined the rest of the guys on the bench and ran to the goal square. When he got to the goal square, he actually come on the ground, having not been replaced, and was by himself for about 2 or 3 minutes in the goal square.
Look, interesting stuff. We missed that up here, but I think maybe the Vicks did too. Smith caught. So 9-12 to 8-9 here. Smith trying to get through, and it's going to be a ball up. Burns, good tackle. He's been good, Burns. He would love to have converted a little more in that first half when he had plenty of opportunities. Goals are tough to get at the moment. It's been a battle between halfback lines. Burke squeezes one out to Lloyd. Lloyd's handball to Blakey. Blakey belts it back inside. Chance here for the Victorians. Young went up with one hand. Thompson was good to Stevens. Stevens, Everett. Well done, O'Connor. Everett O'Connor off the ground. No goal. Johnson claiming it. Well done, big Rhino, who showed a lot of grit and determination there. There's Joel Bowden, who played that sneaky trick a moment ago that Alistair Lynch was aware of.
I don't think we've ever doubted Ryan O'Connor's strength, have we? When he played against Plugger,
just watch an illustration of this again. He was in the disadvantaged position, just did enough there to make it difficult for Johnson to kick the ball off the ground. And Lee Matthews had this to say a short time ago.
I want Mercury on for Thompson, and tell Young's just getting it, right? And go and tell Stewie Lowe too.
Well, while all that's going on, Lee just trying to get his matchups right. The ball is with the Allies. Michael Martin's kick to the front of the square. The leap, low. He's taken 3.
It has to be a contest, though, Robbo, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Even if you're one of the smaller players down there, you've just got to commit yourself and just try and hit his arm at least and bring the ball to ground.
Gee, great to see him on the ground. He's a very, very skillful player, and immediately gets it to Hocking. Hocking to set up David King. David King short. And a contest here. Lloyd doesn't do too bad. You can see him surrounded there by 3. Dick Foss, I think it was Michael Gale, and certainly Mickey Martin there. If he'd let that ball go clear, the Allies would have been immediately into attack. As it is, they still are. Mooney, Pickett, taken away by Martin. Oh, just as he was about to set it up, Mickey Martin. You can see the frustrating look on his face. And the ball spilling for a throw-in. 67 plays, 57, 5.5 minutes left in the third term.
White edges, rather low edges White off. And McGrath gets it from Burke and sweeps a good handball to Smith. Smith's away with a couple of bounces, runs through centre wing and then delivers wide to half forward. Lucas and Kennedy, an important ball. Lucas able to bring it back in. Everett's there. Everett gets a fist to it. It's forced forward for Victoria. Well done there by O'Connor against Johnson. The left foot coming from Mooney to Dick Foss. Well played at the back. Dick Foss on to Creswell. Creswell had a terrific first half. He can run away. Martin tries to hold up Stevens. A 4th bounce maybe for Creswell. No, comfortable to kick it on the left foot to half forward. Front spot there, Bowden. And at the back, Scholl able to ping it off and belt the ball out of play.
One of the problems they've got going forward now is the Allies is that Stewie Lowe's just filling in that hole. And unless they're bringing the ball in quickly, he's just going to settle himself there and he's going to make it very difficult for them to actually take any marks across that half-forward line.
Well done by Scholl. Blakey's hands were good. Smith's providing plenty of run. Hocking through the centre, delivers wide. Neat-looking kick. Burke keeps his eye on it. So the captain getting a bit of it in this third quarter. And Darryl White's inability to get off the ground is meaning that there's no real fly to go with Lowe, isn't there? Up forward with that hip problem. Here's Burke's kick to Lowe. Lowe's going to take his man on. Left foot, not going to make it. In the goal square, Everett too tall and too good. It's a terrific mark. So Everett, who's kicked 4 goals in the match today. Here's Damien Drum.
Hey there, bud. Get out to Mooney. Tell Mooney to play one-on-one with Lowy.
Where's McCurry?
Okay?
So the guy's back on
Just tell him to play one-on-one with Lowy. Quickly.
So instructions for Mooney as Everett boots through his 5th goal for the night. He's the difference, isn't he?
New Cadbury Fuse is like no other chocolate bar. But beware, it's created by a powerful fusion. Masses of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate have actually been fused with lots of delicious crispy bits.
Thought he would have known.
New Cadbury Fuse. Only eat while wearing rubber sole shoes.
Well, he might have kicked 5 goals, Peter Everett, but by God, Ryan O'Connor's going to make him earn every one of them. He's a tough man. 73, plays 57, 3 3/4 minutes left. And Stuart Lowe, well, we see there Peter Everett, the height advantage over Ryan O'Connor. But Stuart Lowe to be congratulated for just running to provide a target for Nathan Burke. Out of the centre, maybe, no, it's Brad Seymour. Confronted by Peckett, Scholl does well and just kicks wide, very wide. The bounce probably favours the Allies. Cockatoo Collins, good shepherd provided. Cockatoo Collins to get around and then kick to Martin. Well done, Mickey Martin. Taking a good mark. He was pressured there by Justin Peckett, but he's marked within scoring distance, difficult angle, with 3 minutes left in the term.
Good shepherd there too by Ackermanis. Just bought Cockatoo Collins a little bit of time and a little bit of space.
Well, they're the team things that the coaches look for, I'm sure. Michael Martin to kick for the Allies' 9th goal. It's a pretty good-looking kick. It's a goal.
Your locally owned Mitre 10 stores are big stores. Big on service, big on products, with just about everything you'll need to do the job around the home. Big on building supplies, timber and timber mouldings. Big on paints and accessories. Big on gardening and associated products. Big on foam and rubber, terracotta and outdoor living. And big on power tools and accessories. Yep, and all big on personalised service. At your locally owned Mitre 10 store in Bendigo, Kerrang, Campbell's Creek, Echuca and Swan Hill.
It's a real bonus goal, isn't it, by Martin? Good kick from the pocket. Cockatoo Collins and Ackermanis making the most of half an opportunity, and it keeps the Allies very much in this match. Within 2 straight kicks of the Big V as a handball out from Mooney. Matthew Campbell.
Yes, Bruce, looks like Darryl White has succumbed to that hip injury. He's come off, and Dean Solomon for his first run in Origin footy. Let's wish him well.
The 18-year-old, the kid, the only teenager out there as Harrison bangs it to full forward. Burns, well done. Burns kicks his third. There's Darryl White, Stevie Lawrence, Dion Scott, a whole heap of lines there, but they're not going to go away, are they, the Allies? This is going to go down to the line now. And 10-9 to 10-13.
Young Solomon, who just came onto the ground, just watch this. This is all they need for him to do, and that is to compete in the air. The ball went to ground there, and Burns is one of the best vacuum cleaners in the competition. Picked that ball up beautifully, and the Allies answering all the challenges at the moment.
So 3 goals for to Ronnie Burns, but 3 very good goals. That one no less than any of the other 2. And Lee Matthews with something else to say to his troops.
Yeah, OK, go and tell Arch and Smitty to keep swapping. I want Smitty up the ground as much as possible. You know, and Arch playing full back, you know, so in other words, Tim McGrath's back on Bowden and Smitty up across half-back.
Well, very good play by the player that Lee Matthews just mentioned, Rowan Smith. He was on all 4s there a moment ago, and he's set up a forward thrust, which might finish in a goal. It will. Great play. Matthew Lloyd's kicked the goal, but Rowan Smith was terrific across half-back.
Before there's construction, there is destruction.
Sunday, Tim's got the answer to any problem.
Shut up! Boys! Take it outside.
All new Home Improvement Sunday, 7:30. Then at 8.
Come on in, Mr. Bruce.
It's a human that thinks it's a cat.
Hey, Greg, how long do these batteries last?
What will Dharma come up with next?
You must be a friend of Dharma's.
A must-see Dharma and Greg after Home Improvement, Sunday on Prime.
So Matthew Lloyd's first goal is Victoria's 11th, and back to a 10-point margin in favour of Victoria. But it may not be that for much longer. Peckett tackled by Ashcroft. Well played by Marcus Ashcroft in the finish. He could see that the ball was to be gathered by the Victorian player, and he's locked it up just forward of the centre circle. It's still about 75 metres from the Allies' goal. Lowe gets it down. Burke, still low, working very, very hard. Kick forward by Scholl towards half. Wasn't that a good grab? Terrific mark by Matthew Kennedy. as we see the scoreboard indicating Victoria leading by 10 points. We've got 1.5 minutes left in the third term.
Kennedy's floating kick never really got onto it. Hocking was at a high tackle, play on called. Ackermanis delivers to centre half forward. Sitting underneath it was Mooney. Terrific build away by Smith. Unlucky for the Allies. King got it off Burns. Back to centre half forward. Oh, nice mark taken there by Mercury. Mercury at 50 and Everett one out in the goal square. You reckon you'd just pop it up almost, wouldn't you? Mercury might fancy himself here. Now, still Everett with O'Connor. Mercury's waiting, he's not sure. He obviously doesn't fancy he can go all the way, and then goes in short, and Johnson has taken the mark. You know Mercury better than us, Tim. Is that just outside his range?
I would have thought that it might have been just inside his range, but perhaps he felt that there may be a slight breeze actually blowing to the end. The Allies are kicking in this term. Perhaps he thought it was just beyond his reach, but
he's put Johnson closer and in a good position, and he doesn't let him down. Good play by the Vicks. Well, they've kicked 2 late goals here. Very handy goals before three-quarter time, because the Allies were right there. Johnson 15 possessions and a goal, so that's been a very handy contribution by him.
You've just got to compete with Mark Mercury there. We talk about this, don't we, often when we see Essendon play, and players who just underestimate his ability to mark above his head. On that occasion, Young learnt a very valuable lesson.
So those handy late goals to the Big V. Johnson getting that one, and Lloyd a moment before him. And Victoria's got a cushion now just before three-quarter time. They may make it a bigger one, because Stevens has got it to Lucas, who can bang the ball from the 50, and that's where he'll be kicking from. And Kennedy's going to have to come back off the mark. Lucas will wind himself up here and give it a go. Long and strong. Great kick by Lucas. O'Connor might have touched it. No, it's a goal. 3 goals in 2 minutes. Has split the game open now. So the Allies dealt a body blow here, right on three-quarter time. Lucas has kicked a couple of goals, and gee, kicks the ball prodigious distances, doesn't he? That's a long kick from about 55. O'Connor did everything he could to make
great
it
shot
behind.
that, isn't it? Just to show you exactly how far over the line Ryan O'Connor was. We see Damien Drum there just shuffling his board.
Be disappointed.
He would be disappointed with those late goals.
Yeah, they were right there, the Allies, weren't they? In fact, I said they're not going to go away a moment ago, and all of a sudden, Victoria kicked 3. In fact, that's been Victoria's trademark over the years. They've been able to kick goals so quickly and so fluently, and after leading by 26 at quarter time and 14 at half, they stretched their lead out to 16 again at three-quarter time.
Sunday, the Soul Man with parenting.
Remember, I am the all-knowing father. I know exactly what you're going to do before you do it. Oh, man, this sucks.
Dan Aykroyd with an all-new Soul Man. And play for paradise with Coca-Cola Sunday at 7.
At Pinky's, when you buy 2 large pizzas for $16.90 for an extra $1, you can have a garlic bread. For an extra $3, you can have a 1.25 litre Coke and garlic bread. Or for $5, a 1.25 litre Coke and Cape Byron ice cream.
Bigger pizzas, bigger Pinky's. Vita 10, all of 10.
Now's the time to race into Vita 10 for these great bonus buys. The Klima column heater is $169 with a bonus towel rail. Get a bonus with this stainless steel saucepan set at $99. And this Wiltshire Laser Edge Plus knife set at $19.95 also has a bonus. So for big bonus buys, race into Vita 10 now.
Vita 10, out of 10, every time.
Come on, where are you?
Oh no, it's Jimmy. He's fallen clean through the roof.
Jimmy? Oh, sorry, Mum. Sister, the babysitter's already here.
Is he breathing? Is he breathing?
Yeah, I know, he's always late. But if we miss the start of the movie, I'll kill him.
You didn't test it for his weight first, did you?
New Cadbury Fuse is like no other chocolate bar. But beware, it's created by a powerful fusion. Masses of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate have actually been fused with lots of delicious crispy bits.
Thought he would have known.
New Cadbury Fuse. Only eat while wearing rubber sole shoes.
You get more.
Harriscarf, Australia's most dynamic value for money department store, is now open in Shepparton Centre Fair Plaza, and our spectacular grand opening sale is now on with sensational specials right through the store. Like men's Adidas tracksuits just $69.95, up to 50% off brand name fashion, and men's orange tab Levi's just $49.95 a pair. And don't forget, Harriscarf Shepparton is open 7 days a week.
You get so much more than you had before. At Harriscarf, it's your store.
Grand opening sale now on.
Which network is the biggest digital network in Australia? Telstra Mobile Net. Get connected at your local mobile net dealer.
Sunday, everyone's favourite funny man.
Can't get any worse than this.
In the hilarious network premiere, Farrah Fawcett, Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor-Thomas and Chevy Chase. Man of the House, 8:30 Sunday.
And welcome back to the Gabba at three-quarter time here. Victoria kicking 3 goals in the last couple of minutes and stretching its lead to 22 points as we check the scoreboard here. And those goals were very handy because the Allies had challenged them very, very strongly. And it was 10-9 to 13-13. So 26 points at quarter time, 14 at half, and 22 at three-quarter time. Well, I think we've all been enlightened by what we've heard tonight from Damien Drum and Lee Matthews. Let's go in and listen to Lee Matthews at three-quarter time again.
Come on. Okay, just listen a sec. Okay, last bit of that quarter was pretty good. They really stirred it up to us. You came back and really used the ball well in the end. And I think that's the essence, to actually use the ball well. Because all game, really, they're just floating around. They're just floating around, trying to get kicks on the rebound. But, I mean, we've just got to work a little bit harder in that forward 50 to keep the ball in there. The ground level players have got to work their guts out to get the ball and leave it in the area. We're just being able to run the ball out of our attacking 50 just a little bit too easily, all right? We'll keep you in the ruck at the moment, Stewie. Keep Peter Spider up towards the end. We'll actually leave this setup the same because it worked pretty well. Terrific running off halfbacks. That's great stuff. You too, Tim. That whole defensive group just...
I don't know about you, but I could sit here and listen to that all night. That's really good stuff from Lee Matthews. I hope you're enjoying that at home. Let's go and join Damien Drum as he speaks to the Allies at three-quarter time.
The way we've been able to run it around and just use the pressure, use the ball, you've got to be smart in the forward line. Fellas, you've been an absolute credit to the jumper again. Right? But we don't want to just be good. We just don't want to be competitive. Finish it off. It's just one of the greatest opportunities you're ever going to have. The opportunity to be the best in the country. The best in the country. Come on, listen, you've got to believe you can win it. We do believe you can win it. We can't lose it. Let's go! Come on!
So that's Damien Drum. You made a point about Dean Solomon when he came on the ground that he was competitive in a marking situation. And here is Dean Solomon. Let's listen to hear what they say in the Allies box about this performance.
Left footer. Just a contest, Dean. Just a contest, kid. Good. See the contest?
He'll give you a contest every time.
Get straight out to Dean Solomon.
Terrific stuff, wasn't it? With Damien Drum asking for something from the kid, and he got it from Dean Solomon. So that was a good bit of play. And when Ronnie Burns kicked that, we had a very tight game. We've still got a tight game, 10-9 to 13-13. The Allies have kicked the first goal in each of the quarters. They need one here. Burt gets it forward. Lucas has been very, very important up forward with his couple of goals.
He's just starting to get away from Kennedy, isn't he?
Yep, and the height of Everett and Lucas has been damaging, as we expected it would be. Low, basically rucking now in the second half. Hocking got it from Mercury, back to Stevens. Stevens, good kick. He measured it to fall forward, and holding his ground was Mansfield. It was a controlled kick by Stevens going in, wasn't it?
What about Hocking again?
Yeah, good, real good.
He's just got fantastic vision and awareness, Gary Hocking. I mean, he's probably the most experienced player. I think Stuart Lowe's played the most Origin games, but Gary Hocking is just a terrific player.
So Mansfield, Michael Mansfield to kick Victoria's first goal of the last quarter, and he's got it. So they kick the last for the Big V.
These are State of Origin Men of Steel, and 4:30 Saturday, two states collide. SA, home of the Premiership team, face the very best of WA. Then live 7:30, see the Anzac spirit stretched, thumped and lived in all its glory. At war, they were the best of mates. In World Rugby, age-old enemies. The Bledisloe Cup, Australia, New Zealand, and State of Origin's Men of Steel, presented by Prime, your Olympic network.
It's all yours, Captain Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, have the Vics dashed away, Alistair?
Yeah, certainly tough for us to come back after 4 goals straight to the Vics, but devastating news in that quarter to see Darryl White go off the ground, and we're really looking for, say, Seymour and Mooney to take a few marks up forward.
And for the bench, Jeff White is starting on the bench, and also Andrew Thompson, who played an enormous part in that first quarter for Victoria.
Interesting, Tim, that Lee Matthews perseveres with Stuart Lowe at the centre bounces.
Yeah, I guess he wants to have that height advantage of Peter Everett. He's kicked 5 goals tonight. Why not have him placed down there at full forward? Because he knows he's got an enormous mismatch with Ryan O'Connor.
Lucas's kick is rather ordinary by his standards, and it's pretty straightforwardly marked by Dion Scott across half-back. Gee, kicks to a 2-on-1. Cockatoo Collins. Oh, gee, if you have this man bearing down on you, you haven't got much hope. And it was such an emphatic punch away that he's gathered about 25 metres for his side, forced a boundary throw in when it looked a certainty that Cockatoo Collins was going to mark. And the ruckman to go at it. It's Everett coming down from full forward. Up over the top was O'Connor. The handball was pretty good. Seymour confronted by Stevens. Crawford has been quiet since early in the game. His kick to the wing, very well gathered by Lowe. Mansfield, then King to kick it forward. King to half forward. Hocking makes a contest, which is what Tim Watson was talking about. Nathan Burke to crumb it, then unselfishly gives it away. Lloyd for his second goal, and the Vics have put the result of the game out of reach.
Styling, twin airbags and a more powerful 3.5-litre V6 from just $39,990 with air. The new Jackaroo answers the call.
So the Vics have kicked 5 goals here in a hurry. They kicked 3 in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter and 2 in the first couple of minutes of the last. So they're completely on top here, and the Allies have got to get one in a hurry. Gale out of the centre to Ashcroft. The Allies go forward. Ashcroft's been good all night. Kicks the ball to the forward pocket. Seymour. Flight at the back came from Lawrence, but they're undermanned down there at the moment. Mansfield, who kicked the goal a moment ago. Back to Seymour. The advantage given, I think, and it's a behind. Seymour kicked a goal earlier in this match in the third quarter, and he's disappointed with that particular effort. So, unfortunately, probably had a bit more time than he realised. Matthew Campbell down on the boundary line.
Bruce, you mentioned they've got to kick 5 goals, the Allies. They've actually got 5 forwards on the interchange bench in White, Hamill, Solomon, Ackermanis and Bowden joining Phoebe. So they've got some talent up forward, but sitting on the bench.
Interesting observation. So Seymour, the defender, missing there a moment ago. Blakey through the centre square, belts it down in the direction of Lloyd, uses his body. Well done, though, by Solomon in the front place, and Solomon's away.
And he won't do his future any harm whatsoever, Dean Solomon. A couple of important, he's into it again, following up and kicking to full forward, but a terrific mark. Maybe that player there, David King, injured, but Archer's mark was a beauty.
King unhappy with the way he was cannoned into on that occasion too, and he gave Dion Scott an absolute gobful.
Why is he not allowed to go on, John?
Free kick going to...
I think Darren Goldsmith was actually concerned about whether David King was injured in that clash, so just allowing the players to clear.
Well, Hocking marked the kick and then with precision found Peckett. He in turn finds McCurry. McCurry to the advantage. It bounces beautifully from McGrath. Now this transference deserves a goal, and Johnson's a good player and a beautiful finish.
The good times roll, they roll on out, and you're odds on for a great time out at Fortune.
There's 1,000 ways for you to be a winner at Bendigo's most exciting entertainment venue, Fortunes. Dine in Fortunes Bistro Restaurant. Drop by for a late supper and a flutter on the pokies in one of Victoria's most luxurious gaming lounges. Fortunes 5-star accommodation and fun times anytime.
Good times roll at Fortunes.
So Dick Foss now on the interchange bench. We saw Harrison go off a moment ago. Matthew Fever come on. So Damien Drum ringing the changes here. Mooney gets up high. Burns couldn't take it. Burks had a good second half. Back to Burns. Back to Crawford, who had a terrific first half and then was quiet in the third quarter. Creswell was shut down a bit too in the third term. And he floats one to half forward. Hudson behind. And coming in was Michael Martin. And out of play. So Victoria's kicked 6 goals without reply. 3 late in the third quarter and 3 early here. Matthew Knight's closest to us. Sean Hart there. As they had a lot of the game. Thompson was terrific early. Some of the 6 interchange players for the Big V. Lowe was at the back. Smith's been good. He took it very well and then gave it over to Scholl. Scholl, both Smith and Scholl ran a long way and he clears the ball out wide to Archer. You look at Archer here tonight and King and you realise that North has got to be some sort of a hope this year. They're just so good at the back, aren't they? In short to Campbell. Back to Archer. Archer just defensive side of centre wing.
Yes, and just a transference of the football to try and set it up to make the ball go down a little simpler for key forwards. It hasn't worked out quite the way they planned it, but Lucas works very, very hard at ground level to Anthony Stevens, who's been very good since he came onto the ground. Very awkward bounce for Everett. Getting back to tidy up and help out the defenders is Crawford after 2 bounces. Kicks rather ordinarily. Knocked away by Peckett. Good play for McGrath. McGrath in turn to Blakey. Back to McGrath. Can he squeeze a kick? Smothered off the boot. And not able to do much with it. Mark Mercury, boundary throw in left half forward for Victoria. 16-13 to 10-10, so a 39-point advantage now for Victoria after, well, the margin was less than a goal in that third quarter, early in the third term. Mercury just put pressure on there, Marcus Ashcroft, to force a bounce about 70 metres from the Victorian goal. Andrew Coates, Hayden Kennedy, Darren Goldspink. The umpires, very impressive stats for Gary Hocking, 17 and 11. Mercury forced to kick with the left, hooks it across the half-forward line. Gathered here by Johnson. Little hand pass releases Campbell. He in turn goes to Anthony Stevens onto his left foot. Snapshot by Stevens, just misses to the left and kicks it behind. Damien Drum has some words of advice to the bench.
Okay, need Ronnie Burns back near goal, buddy. Quickly, get out to Ronnie Burns. We want him back near goal.
And everybody else out.
Yeah.
Just Ronnie Burns.
Yeah.
What he's saying there is he wants Ronnie Burns to play in the 50-metre forward zone on his own, just to try and expose perhaps David King for pace, although he want to be pretty good to expose David King for pace.
Ashcroft, as the Allies work it forward. White back on the ground. It's a bit of a surprise. Had a spectacular opening half. Lucas has been terrific. McGrath to Smith. So many good players now for Victoria. Smith kicks the ball to about 45. O'Connor had a big lead, couldn't take it. Solomon, well done again to at least get a handball away. O'Connor in trouble holding it. He'll be disappointed, the big fellow, but...
Yeah, the umpire obviously considering that Ryan O'Connor either dived on the ball or dragged it in, and having done that, once he's tackled, he's got to immediately hit the ball clear. So here we see Ryan actually, well...
Pretty hard for him to get it out.
The umpire, to make that decision, must have considered he either dived on it or dragged it under.
So Peter Everett has kicked 5 goals tonight. Kicked a couple in the first quarter, and now he's got 6. He's got a goal in each of the quarters at least. Lee Matthews in the box.
He's unlucky. That's unlucky. I reckon that was unlucky. Make it hard for the bloke playing to make it.
Well, I think we all agree with Lee, and he said, well, he's pretty stiff, is Ryan O'Connor, and Spider's happy about all of that. Is that Nathan Burke, the captain, having a chat to Lee Matthews. And the Big V has sailed away here. This has been an impressive performance, 116 to 70. To think that with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, there was less than a kick in it.
And Stuart Lowe's been one of the players that has created that big difference between the two teams. Hart kicks it forward for Victoria. Left behind by Archer. Gathered there by Solomon again, was it? Gale. Back to Matthew Phoebe. His hand pass, not too bad in the finish. Crawford with some space, kicks it into the middle of the ground. Now Mooney for the Allies. Mooney to the goal square. Great leap and mark by Lawrence. Terrific effort by one of the shorter players on the ground.
Well, he started the game at half-back on Thompson, but Thompson got so much of the ball in the first quarter that they actually took him off the ground. On that occasion, it was a good, long, direct kick there by Mooney to some space and just set up for one of the forwards to take a run and a leap at it.
Well, not a very difficult angle, and he should convert, and he does so.
So where's our boy?
New job. He must be doing overtime.
On his birthday?
Yeah.
What happened? The new kid poured water into an acid drum. What?
Hey! No! Wait until your baby brother gets here.
How was he to know? None of the drums are labelled.
He shouldn't be much longer.
Gutsy mark and goal for Lawrence. So the Big V kicks 7 unanswered goals. The Allies get one back. Victoria going forward. Blakey to Hocking. Hocking goes to full forward, wanting Mercury over his head. Young was there with O'Connor, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. 17-14 to 11-10, so the margin 40 points. Mark Mercury, that splendid forward for the Bombers. And a very pleasant night here. I think the crowd have really enjoyed this match. The atmosphere's been terrific.
It's Gary Hocking's 29th possession, Bruce. So, boy, great night.
Ashcroft missed his target. Phoebe's going to have to run hard. He couldn't get there. Blakey to Mercury. Mercury should find a way here. Does, delivers, and goals. A consummate professional, isn't he? He's such a neat player.
Doesn't that indicate the depth that they've had when Mark Mercury took ages to get a place on the field tonight?
Well, he actually didn't come on until just before half-time. But once again, it was a handball error from the Allies across half-back. If you turn the ball over there, you're in real strife. And Mercury just having presence, time and poise to slot one through. Been a great experience for a number of players out here on the ground tonight. Blumfield, Cockatoo, Collins, Solomon, who's come onto the ground. Young players of both teams who've been able to get a taste of football. Jeff White for the Victorian side, just to get a taste of football at its absolute purest. Lee Matthews had this to say a short time ago.
Go and tell Johnny Blakey, really good stuff. Set up the goal, and his second half on Harrison has been really good for us.
So the coach giving credit to the player delivering the hand pass to Mark Mercury. On that occasion, John Blakey. The Allies took the ball from the centre bounce. Ronnie Burns looking a little disappointed with what happened there. And from full-back, Rowan Smith's kick across the full-back line has been marked by McGrath. Still inside his defensive 50. Brad Scholl runs outside that area. Kicks to Anthony Stevens. It's gathered by Hudson. His, well, ambitious hand pass chopped off. Anthony Stevens again into the middle of the ground. Hart trying to get into the action. Rowan Smith handball over the top. Blakey goes back to Campbell. Campbell to on forward to Lowe. Lowe to the goal square. Misses to the right when maybe that passage of play deserved a little better.
That's exactly what Lee Matthews asked his players to do at three-quarter time. It's just to continue to pass the ball to each other and make sure the skills are up there, and unfortunately that time not a goal.
They've run the ground so well tonight, the Big V, from one end to the other in a hurry. Ball out wide from Young and a boundary throw in.
And Bruce, I guess there'll be a lot of coaches sitting back all over Australia watching this, just hoping that none of their players get injured late in the game.
Low, down to Michael Martin, in trouble, a little handball to Ashcroft, squeezes one out, that's okay to Seymour. Good passage of play here. Phoebe back to Martin. Martin's kicked to centre half forward, marked by Hudson.
That'll be a 50, I think, Bruce. I mean, Rowan Smith clearly 3 or so metres over the mark when he took up that position, and If the player unduly encroaches the mark, as no doubt Rowan Smith did then the umpires will pay a 50-metre penalty.
Right.
Even though Rowan Smith didn't move forward, he actually took up an initial position well over where the mark was.
It was a deliberate hold-up. What he saw out of the corner of his eye was Mooney had actually drifted down the ground. That's exactly where Hudson was going to go. Smith saw him too.
They'll talk about that at the Bulldogs training during the week. Rowan Smith and Paul Hudson. Well, Hudson to kick his first goal for the night. He's got it.
Tonight, Tim's done it. He's lost Jill's wedding ring.
You know, I have never seen that drain before.
The toolman's got the plan.
He thinks he'll knock the ring loose.
But Jill's the one with the balls. Home improvement, Ben at 11.
Where's Sally?
Sally went to the gynecologist.
Nice work if you can get it.
Tonight.
Just lie back and relax.
At the special time of 11 o'clock.
I would like to see another doctor, one who can keep his hands to himself.
Third rock after home improvement tonight on Prime.
Off.
And still Matthew Knights. Well, his relaxation for the evening started well before half-time, as we said earlier. A big bandage on his right leg. Dipper seems to think that it's not too serious from a Richmond point of view, but there's his Richmond teammate Wayne Campbell trying to get it forward. Archer not able to gather. Colbert gathered there by Darryl White. In turn, Michael Gale across the half-back line, and a good mark is taken here by Blumfield. And I think what you said, Tim, these sort of games, first of all, when you get picked in them, but then if you play well in them, your confidence can be boosted enormously when you go back to the club football. And that's a player who I think has grown in stature since he was picked last year, Rowan Smith. And his kick on this occasion, just a little bit difficult there for Scott Lucas. He's not able to mark, and it forces a boundary throw in.
Rob, I'll just bring up the date with the Allies bench. We've got 4 Lions and 2 Tigers on the bench there.
Thanks, Tiff. So a couple from Richmond and a couple from Brisbane there, sitting it out. Blumfield, Ashcroft, and it's going to be a bounce down. I wonder who would be favoured for the Jesselenko medal and also for the E.J. Whitten medal at the moment. Tough task.
I think Gary Hocking has been particularly good.
For the E.J., what about from an Allies point of view?
I think Mooney's been exceptional tonight.
Blumfield to Ashcroft. Ashcroft plays the percentages and runs the ball out of play.
If you go by possessions and weight of numbers, I guess you're looking at Crawford and Creswell, but I just think the work that Jason Mooney has actually done around the ground, he's taken 10 marks, he's had 23 possessions, and he really got them going in that second term.
So Everett and Mooney back to Young. Young just to Crawford. Crawford controlled it well to Mooney, and Mooney at half-back takes Everett on. He's in trouble. Touched it on the ground. Hamill, inside handball was good to Gale. Gale floats one towards Cocker. 2 Collins, free kick against him. Getting up behind Mansfield, and the advantage given to King.
And King streams away from half-back, kicks it across that line where Peckett is marked. Peckett goes short, into the middle, swooping on it as Stevens. He really is a terrier, Anthony Stevens. He spent a lot of time on the bench, and he's knocked up 15 possessions now. And that one has found his teammate, his North Melbourne teammate and Victorian teammate, Glenn Archer.
Hasn't been too bad, Archer, either, has he?
Well, Cockatoo Collins, far too early.
That's about as unrealistic as they get, Robbo, isn't it?
Yep, my word, Johnny. Just a few minutes ago when Shane Crawford handballed to Jason Mooney, if they knew they were going to be in the hot seat as far as the medal's concerned, you wonder whether he might have given that hand pass off. It was discussed just earlier, wasn't it, as to which one was going to get it. But Archer, one of the good Victorian players. Long kick by Glenn Archer. Gee, that's close to the line, eventually helped over. You'd wonder whether it's a goal. It is. Well, they play mysterious games, those goal umpires, Johnny.
I think they like to keep us all guessing, Robbo.
Well, it is a goal to Victoria, and they go now to 19-15. The goal kicked by Glenn Archer, 19-15 to 12-10.
Well, you talk about big occasion players, and I think Glenn Archer's actually forging a reputation for being a player that can really stand up in the toughest of competition. Just watch this slowly again, and that's a terrific camera action. And that did show the ball passing over the goal line, knocked back into play. It's certainly a correct decision there by the goal umpire.
He's very versatile, Archer, isn't he? Arguably one of the best 2 or 3 defenders in the game and can go forward. Mansfield to Everett. Everett's kicked 6 tonight, so he's had another very good match. Scholl, who had a big third quarter, out to Archer. at centre wing, a Norm Smith medalist in North Melbourne's premiership winning effort in '96. Everett spins onto the left, belts it back to centre half forward. Nice take from the back. I think it's Johnson, though.
I think it should be Johnson's, I think.
Blakey wants it, kicks towards Hocking. Well done by Mooney, belting it away. So the two medalists together, Tim, crashing to the ground, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
He wasn't going to shirk it, though, was he? He knows it's late in the game, Hocking. He knows that if he commits himself to that ball, it's going to hurt. He's getting just outside 30, beyond 30. He's still one of the great competitors in this competition.
Colbert just laid it off. Mercury back to Hocking. Hocking sort of one to the pocket to Hart. Hart tucked up against the line. 19-15 to 12-10. He was the odd man out tonight, wasn't he? The one Lion not playing for the Allies. There've been 8 of them out there for Brisbane, and this was the one fellow playing for Victoria. He kicks the ball. He wants Everett, a big fly, and Spider's got it. Well, I guess if he just goes back and kicks his 7th, Tim, he's putting his hand up. I'll leave you alone for the rest of the night on it. It's not your job, is it?
We don't actually have to choose that tonight.
Here's Lee Matthews.
Can you hear it? Put Berkey on for Wayne Campbell just to finish it off. Yeah, Berkey on for Wayne Campbell just down the wing.
Technology's failed him.
We might play that on Talking Footy on Monday night, I reckon, don't you?
Yelling footy.
Let's see if Spider can kick his 7th. He has not. He's missed it. So behind the Spider Everett.
It's cost him the medal.
Well, actually, on my scorecard, that's his first blemish. He's kicked 6-1.
6-1. So...
he's so good with his kicking because he actually leans so far over the ball. His height almost enforces that he does that. No margin for error with his style.
Mooney gets it from Matthew Young.
Well, again, to harp on it, Bruce, just less than a kick in it just before three-quarter time, you mentioned, and now it's 8 goals the margin. Marcus Ashcroft has been quite tidy for the Allies. His kick into the middle. Now it's kicked forward there by Solomon. Out wide, the mark has been taken by Burns. Burns looking for his 4th goal. He's going to run inside 50. Support provided by Michael Gale. In turn, back to Burns. That came from Scott. No, it was Hamill, actually. Hamill into the action again. He's robbed his opponent of the football and then kicked it high to the goal square. No mark, but it could be a goal to Paul Hudson. Oh, dear. In the finish, made a certainty of it.
Seen a more interesting goal than that, Tim, from Burns. It was interesting because King turned his back on it and Burns said, I'll be a bit cheeky here.
Yeah. I think King just played that to perfection on that occasion. He didn't overcommit himself. He didn't just run with his player and allow Burns to run in and have a shot at goal. I reckon you've always got to run at the player with the ball in those situations because you've got to make him make a decision. We've seen it in a couple of occasions tonight where players just peeled off, and then we saw another occasion in the 3rd term, or the 2nd term it might have been, where one of the Victorian players, I can't remember who it was, but actually ran at a player, made him make a decision, and then that forced a turnover.
So Hudson with a couple of last quarter goals. It was very much like soccer on the edge of the penalty box for a while there as they pushed it around and tried to get the right angle. And in the end, Hudson was pretty clever. Mercury's kick is neat and finds Blakey. So it's opened up again now, hasn't it, Arthur? Scoring was tough in the 3rd quarter. Blakey's kicked a full forward and Seymour's taken the mark. Played forward early, Seymour, and kicked a goal. Gets the ball out wide. Ashcroft, Smith sits on him. Martin went without it, gave Smith a chance. Ashcroft tried to fend him off. Good contest, that one. Ashcroft's handball to space. Oh, well played by Colbert. Off the ground by Stevens, marked by Young at half-back. Young delivers the ball, wants Crawford, with him Hart. Again, a good contact. Oh, beautifully taken, Spider. Down low, and when you Spider, that's a long way down. Gets it to Hocking. He's got some skills as the big Spider. Stevens, lace out. Oh, too good for Stewie in the end. And I think he might have been a bit soft because he saw Matthew Young run across and thought, well, we've got to play next week. And he finds O'Connor.
And there's really, this heat's gone out of the game, I think, because you can see on the scoreboard 7 goals, too big a margin with just 5 minutes left. Darryl White, maybe to excite the crowd in the last 5 minutes. He's going to go back and maybe have a ping at this. No, he's not. He's going to go short and give the opportunity to Paul Hudson. Well, I mentioned that he was goalless for, what, 3 quarters. 2 goals so far in this last quarter. Maybe a 3rd goal would make his game a creditable one. 19-16 to 13-10. this to bring it back to a 6-point margin. Good kick, beautiful kick by Hudson. He is just a great goal kicker. So 3 goals to Paul Hudson, along with Ronnie Burns, 2 to Darren Cresswell, the leading goal kickers for the Allies.
He just finds a lot of the ball, doesn't he, for a forward, Paul Hudson. And to be able to kick a goal from outside 50 late in the game just gives you an idea of the actual power in his legs. That's the one where Stewie Lowe probably took a little bit easy on his teammate there. A quick look, saw that it was young. They'd be in the same team next weekend, and decided that he wasn't going to inflict any bruises upon him, as we see Lee Matthews and the chairman of selectors, Gerard Healy, in the background, and that in the lovely lime green outfit, that's Russell Green, former Hawthorn and St Kilda champion.
Crawford to Lawrence, so the Allies are getting a wriggle on late here. Mansfield, geez, Smith's run has been spectacular from the back, and his pass is a beauty. Mercury has been very effective. Out wide to Burke. He was off, I think, Burke. Maybe not, but his intention was to try and get it on in a hurry. Captain of the Victorian team was very proud in having that honour given to him on Tuesday night, and he's done a good job, Berkey. Kicks the ball to centre-half forward. Archer, oh, what a player he is. Takes the mark and then quickly pushes on to Mercury, who's had a real taste for it, hasn't he, since he's come onto the ground. He's really wanted that football, and now he's going to short pass to Lowe, and it's all too easy, and that's about the easiest goal you'll see at this level of football in a long time. So Bruce, Big Stewie, sorry, Robert.
Bruce, there's an interested party on the boundary line. I think Dipper's had a bit of an interest in the Vicks winning by more than 45. So if someone else could kick a goal, I think he might give him a big kiss when the siren goes.
And that's
What's
every
that,
reason
Dip?
not
What
to
did you
kick a
say,
goal.
Dipper?
Robbo, it's the only week I haven't done anything. And I was looking at half-time, I thought.
2016 to 14-10. Well, the margin at the moment, Dipper, is 42 points.
Kick another goal, please.
And there's still 3 minutes left, so there'll be some interesting moments from that point of view, and certainly from these players' points of view, as Shane Crawford strives to get the ball forward. Nearly marked by McGrath. Hand pass. They've combined pretty well, the defence of the Victorian side. Hart to David King in turn to Peckett. He's got a player running in support. Hasn't he worked hard? Gary Hocking, he's been terrific. Stuart Lowe has marked that kick, and he's not quite up to the 50-metre line. Gary Hocking, 32 possessions, and he's kicked a goal. Stuart Lowe to kick the ball in the direction of the big spider, and he looked just that. Well done, Nathan Burke. Captain may kick the last goal of the game. So Nathan Burke, who was on the bench, and we did see Lee Matthews, he tried to get the instruction down to the bench with the phone, but being forced to shout out loud to get the captain onto the ground for the finish of the game.
Just watch this, Robbo, the way, in fact, it didn't show up on that particular shot there from the camera, but the way that Ryan O'Connor actually got Peter Everett, and there's Dipper's reaction. He's got the margin that he wanted now. Let's just hope the Allies don't rush the ball forward and kick another goal.
Never seen a bloke so excited who hasn't had a bet. No, he was a great Victorian player, the Dip, as you were, Tim. And 14-10 to a 21-16. I'm really pleased that Berkey's had a good game. He'd had a slow start, but he's had 20 possessions and a very good second half, and a terrific effort by him. Gale, little chap, Creswell, the other captain, who was very good in the first half, and Phoebe to Crawford, who's had a very big final term in terms of possessions, kicks the ball back into centre and marked by Lawrence. He took a good mark in the last quarter. Pushes to Seymour. Seymour, who's not a big goal kicker. He's only kicked 3 goals in his league career, but he got 1 tonight, and he pushes him forward to Martin. Michael Martin takes the mark at about 48 metres out.
It's really been the most offensive quarter of football so far, hasn't it?
Well, the Vicks have kicked 8 goals, and the Allies 4, so we've had 12 goals so far in the final term, with a real sting out of the game, but still a very good exhibition. Martin hooks it, gets right there, big fly, and Michael Mansfield happy to run it over. So it's 95 to 142, margin of 47 points. Remembering 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, Victoria led by 4 points. So they have been able to put the Allies away very impressively. Gale cuts off Hart, and Gale bangs it back in. Not a good kick. Well trapped by Mansfield. This Victorian defence has been excellent. King to Stevens. Hocking was there, just a little chip pass is a good one. Blakey, Peckett wide, bangs it out wide to Peckett. McCurry wants it in short. Peckett goes over the top. Everett's got a wonderful chance here, and it was always on. And Spider's taken the mark against Blumfield.
Has he moved into the superstar category yet, Bruce?
Oh, I'm sure I think he has. I'm sure he has. A big final series this year would absolutely confirm it, but there's very few players that can dominate a match like this fellow, and he's got all the tricks. We saw that half volley pick up a moment ago on his bootlaces. It was quite extraordinary, and he's kicked 7 goals. That's a big return. I mean, tonight, you wouldn't go crazy about his game, but he just kicked the lazy 7.
I guess you'd have to say that the Allies didn't have a tall player that was capable of playing alongside him. I thought Ryan O'Connor did a pretty reasonable job, but it's just his height that has been the worrying factor. I certainly would rate him in the top 5 players in the competition at the moment. He's just taken his football to another level this year, and I think what makes him such a great player is the fact that not only can he take the ball in the air and he's good in the centre bounces, he's also good below his knees for a tall fellow.
So an infringement there, and this time it goes to the Allies, and it's O'Connor. So can the Allies get the last goal of what's been a very entertaining match here at the Gabba? He unloads the big Rhino, kicks to centre half forward. King back there, couldn't quite hold it. Puts Smith under the hammer. No goal. White didn't kick it anyway. It's a free kick.
Free kick to Rowan Smith for holding. Bruce.
See, what's wrong with Hayden Kennedy's sense of theatre? That's it. Well done, Lee. Well done, Gerard. Well done, the Big V. That's Victoria's 26th win in 41 State of Origin starts. It's a terrific performance. They are always the measuring stick. They're always the team to beat. They're the one that everybody wants to knock off. And yet again tonight, they have been successful. Tipper's got the captain, Nathan Burke.
I certainly have, Bruce. Congratulations, Nathan. Your 9th jumper and first time as captain.
Yeah, fantastic to come away with a win. It was a tough game. The score might not show that, but they certainly threw everything at us. And the boys, at half-time, it wasn't looking too good, but they stuck together and we won the game.
A terrific side to put together the last couple of weeks. It was a tough game up to half-time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was, and I'd love to play with that back line every week. The way the guys just attack the footy and that, it's just fantastic. And Big Spider kicking 7. It's
fantastic. Well, great news for St Kilda there. 7 for Spider yourself, and Stewie Lowe playing quite well, and young Thompson as well.
Yeah, Tomo kicked a couple early, which is good, and for the other side, Matthew Young, I thought had a fantastic game, and the way he was poised in the first state game was a fantastic effort from him too.
And obviously a State of Origin is a life for you.
Yeah, it is, mate. This is fantastic. Now, the boys have only been together a week, but just the camaraderie and the spirit that we've managed to get together in a group of 24 blokes in the space of 5 days, really. It just shows that players really want us to play for the Big V, and probably on behalf of the 48 guys out here, long live the State of Origin.
Well played, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Dipper, with Nathan Burke. So the final scores here, we'll be back with the presentation and the cup and also the 2 medals, 14-11 to 22-16. Interesting there, Nathan Burke knew exactly how many goals Spider Everett had kicked, giving that information to Dipper. 7 goals. So we'll be back in just a moment from the Gabba.
The fun is about to begin.
Sunday, 8:30, the smash hit movie premiere.
Good shot, Little Wing.
From the creators of 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, no.
It's everyone's favourite funny man.
Okay, we'll have this up in no time.
An irresistible comedy about love.
We can go to bed right now.
Life and being a dad.
Can't get any worse than this.
Farrah Fawcett, Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, and Chevy Chase, Man of the House. Sunday, 8:30.
The tax system is bleeding rural Australia dry. Like fuel tax. In some cases, it amounts to 44 cents in every litre. Now, I wasn't convinced, to be honest, about a consumption tax. I'll tell you, if it was part of a new, fairer system that meant fuel was cheaper, I'd give it a go. Because in a country the size of ours, that'd make a big difference.
A fairer tax system. It's now or never.
Authorised by D. Miles for Australians for Fairer Tax, South Melbourne.
G'day, Dougie here. Right now you can buy your favourite footy players in 3D from your local Tat Lotto outlet. They're called Tat Lotto Magic Vision Collectibles. And don't they look magical? Have a look at this. They can win you a share of $500,000 worth of bonus prizes on Prime. So hurry into your local Tat Lotto outlet now. Check out the whole range of Tat Lotto Magic Vision Collectibles and ask how you can win your share of bonus prizes.
Welcome to Prime Television's Footy Fever. Here are the top plays of last week's round.
Number 17 and 41 respectively. Colin, he kicks the ball to half forward. Oh, spectacularly done. In bowled over by Mitchell. Abraham! Oh, what a mark, Chuck.
Ranked 6th in defence, Richmond, so they've been pretty steady. They've kept on the table. Boy, that will hurt Allen. He's run hard into Rogers, I think it was.
Crows, I should say. 14 points. Bickley. It's a hurried kick again inside 50. Difficult to take a mark. They need someone at ground level. Jumping with a bit of magic. Bounces through.
McGovern ends up with him. Dangerously, all just went right into that one. That's what you call the hospital handball, and the Swans returned it back to Cook.
St Kilda have won 5 in a row coming into this, and they're in a bit of strife here. Kerry, oh, brilliant! Man on the mark, Hodgson has gone down injured. Kerry snaps lazily and kicks a brilliant goal!
Experience Footy Fever when Prime Television brings you a feast of AFL action with coverage of games across the weekend.
Powerful. Provocative.
Our people
Compelling.
once were warriors.
For the first time on network television, the winner of more than 20 international film awards. Once were warriors, 10 o'clock Saturday on Prime. Monday, Sam plays her last game with Jack.
Now it's my turn, Samantha.
This is the episode not to miss.
Kiss me, Samantha.
The dramatic season finale.
I got him. I got Jack.
Profiler, Monday, 9:40 on Prime.
Welcome back to the Gabba with the final scores here. Victoria by 53 points in the end, 22-16, kicking 9 in the final term to 4. The Allies 14-11.
7 Sports hope you're enjoying this match in the 1998 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Let's go down to the presentation for the E.J. Whitten and Alex Jesaulenko medals and the Coca-Cola State of Origin Cup with Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us a great deal of pleasure to invite former Carlton champion Alex Jesaulenko to present the medal named in his honour to the player adjudged by the Allies selectors as the best Allies player tonight here at the Gabba. Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Alex Jesaulenko medal, Shane Crawford. Now I'd like to invite former Victorian champion and triple Brownlow medalist Bob Skilton to present the medal named in the honour of E.J. Whitten to the player adjudged the best of field tonight in the Victorian side. And the winner of the E.J. Whitten medal is Rowan Smith. Now would you please welcome Mr. Dick Chapman, the Marketing Promotions Manager of Coca-Cola, to present the Coca-Cola AFL State of Origin Trophy to the Victorian skipper Nathan Burke and the coach Lee Matthews.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank the Allies for putting up a very spirited performance tonight. It was a fantastic game, especially up at half-time. It was very much in the balance. Congratulations to the Victorian guys that they've only been together for 5 days, but really showed a lot of spirit and showed that they really want to play State of Origin footy. And probably on behalf of the 48 guys that played here tonight, long live State of Origin footy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Congratulations to Victoria. Commiserations to the Allies. That concludes our official presentation here at the Gabba. Once again, would you show your appreciations for the efforts of both teams and congratulate the Big V?
So strong support there for the State of Origin concept from Nathan Burke. It will come under review, there's no question about that, but for the people that were here tonight at the ground, and I'm sure around Australia on 7, we've had a very entertaining night and a real contest for more than 3/4 of this match.
Well, I just thought they were terrific players from both sides. The way the Allies took it up to the Victorian players in that second term and the third term, and then the way that the Victorians answered that challenge so brilliantly in the time-on period of that third term. And then it really just became a showcase of the great skills of our players in that final term, a very offensive quarter of football. But there's a number of Victorian players out there on the ground at the moment who are very pleased with their efforts tonight, as well they might be. And so too should those fellows there. I thought they were very brave. They were undermanned. They didn't look like they had the class when you looked at the lineups prior to this game, but they certainly fought on gamely, and they can hold their heads high tonight.
Looks like Ronnie Burns has got Gary Hocking's Victorian Guernsey there. As Rowan Smith, congratulations to Rowans with the Big Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bruce. First, congratulations, EJ Whitten medal. Terrific game by yourself and the boys.
Yeah, look, like, what a fantastic effort by the guys to come back. We had a poor second quarter. In the second half, we really turned it on. It was a great effort.
It's your second jumper, but there's something special, obviously, a Western Bulldogs player.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, a great EJ Whitten to win his medal. It's just a fantastic honour, and hopefully the Bulldogs can continue in the second half of the season.
Well played. I know you want to run with the boys. Off you go.
Thanks.
You're in a bit of a hurry. He wants to join up with the guys.
Thanks, Dipper. And I just wondered, Dipper, you may not be able to get him, but I know all Richmond supporters, Lee, good on you. Richmond supporters would love to just hear from Matthew Knights as to the extent of his injury. They play the Bombers next week. Congratulations to Lee Matthews, and well done to the whole Victorian team. I think Dipper might have asked Matthew, and at this stage, Matthew's got high hopes of being available for next week.
It's a real worrying sign, though, isn't it? When you see the skipper of your side leave the ground, obviously it's a hamstring strain. You don't recover from something like that in a hurry. And if it wasn't that serious, he would have gone back onto the ground tonight. They've got a terribly important game against Essendon next weekend.
Well, Matty Knights is with the Big Dipper.
Your command is my wish, or your wish is my command. Matty Knights, how bad is that hamstring?
Oh, we'll just have to see how it settles down during the week, Dipper. I mean, it was spasming up a fair bit on me out there tonight, and felt pretty good in the first quarter, but then late in the first quarter it really started to tighten up and spasm, so they didn't want to risk it any further, so hopefully it pulls up all right.
So you've just iced it along the way?
Yeah, I'll ice it up for the next couple of days, and hopefully it comes up. We've got a big game against the Bombers next Sunday, so I really don't want to miss that, so I just got to hope for the best.
Thanks for that.
And Justin Charles comes back for the sides as well?
Yeah, I think he's got another week. I'm not sure. I think he's got round 16, so he's got another week. So I suppose with Ben Holland going down last week, Charlesy in the next few weeks might become handy.
And Benny Harrison come off before too, so we'll have to catch up with him as well.
Yeah, well, he was going quite well till he come off. I think he might have just got a bit of a kick on the leg, so I think he's going to be all right.
But the main thing is the Vics have won and you're part of it again?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's a great feeling. We come up here tonight and about a 50-point victory, so it's just great to go away with the victory, Dip.
Well, you're in great form with the Tigers, and we'll hope to see you there next week.
Thanks, Dip.
Thank you, Dipper, for that. Hamstrings will be the order of the day, because James Hurd's hamstring's going to be discussed a bit too next week in the lead up to that game, and so will Matthew Knights now.
Well, it's unusual that you could have a spasm in your hamstring without it being a minor strain and a minor tear, so I'd be terribly surprised if Matthew Knights was there next weekend.
Well, let's take a break, Tim, from the Gabba. We'll be back with more after this.
Coming up, the tall man's got a plan.
He thinks he'll knock the ring loose.
But Jill's the one with the ball. Ow! Next on Home Improvements.
Yeah, I just had a quick bite with Ken.
Bit of a celebration, eh?
Oh, I had one or two, yeah.
Right. Well, next time you speak to him...
Oh, look, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I know. I was going a little fast, wasn't I? How fast was I going?
Right, but I'll get back to that in just a moment. What I first require to do is undergo a preliminary breath test and prescribe
God,
Now, whenever the police carry speed detectors, they also carry breath
test
testers.
indicates you have alcohol in your system. Okay, what I'd like you to do...
So over 1,000 police cars across Victoria are also booze buses.
Put your seatbelt on for me, then.
If you drink, then drive. You're a bloody idiot.
The Chuck Super Scrub on the right is made from a denser nylon fibre than the leading Scara on the left, so it's more durable. To prove it, we did this simple test. It's easy to see which one scrubs up better. Chuck Super Scrubs, the new wave in cleaning.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Smoking creates blood clots, which can cause strokes. Some strokes kill, blind, or paralyze. Others you don't even know you're having. This is the result of a minor stroke in a smoker, aged 38. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
At Pinky's, when you buy 2 large pizzas for $16.90 for an extra $1, you can have a garlic bread. For an extra $3, you can have a 1.25 litre Coke and garlic bread. Or for $5, a 1.25 litre Coke and Cape Byron ice cream.
Bigger pizzas, bigger Pinky's.
Get a free pair of Levi's with the Nokia 5110 at $169 or the Panasonic G450 at $99.
Get a free pair with me too.
But you'll only catch this deal in Retrovision, where top brands cost less.
Fortune's Tabaret at the All Seasons International. Ron Poyser Motors, your light commercial specialist. Bendigo Marketplace, your place for great shopping. Ashman's and the Blue Rock Jeanery. And your local Mitre 10 store in Bendigo, Swan Hill, Kerrang, Echuca and Campbell's Creek are proud to be associated with the 1998 AFL Premiership season.
The all-new Holden Suburban, the largest 4-wheel drive on the planet, with a powerful V8 or turbo diesel engine and standard extras. Test drive the new Holden Suburban at R&B Smith's Geelong, your regional stockist.
Newsbreak, brought to you by National Mutual Financial Services.
Good evening. Making news tonight, fire high in the sky as the engine of a jet catches a light in midair. A cold snap along the east coast causes chaos. Heavy snow has blocked roads south of Sydney, while black ice is being blamed for a car crash that killed a young mother and her newborn baby north of Melbourne. Why the Wallabies are tipped to upset the All Blacks in the Bledisloe Cup, and some unexpected competitors at the World Surfing Titles. Join us for the news shortly after 11 o'clock.
Welcome back to the Gabba. Well, the Vics had it early and they had it late, didn't they? But the Allies put in a very good second and a third quarter. But in the end, Victoria with Everett 7 goals, winning by 53 points. Burns got 3 and Hudson got 3 last quarter goals for the Allies. And all the details of this match and a preview of tomorrow's match and the latest news on the AFL on the official website, afl.com.au.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. Victoria Bitter for a hard-earned thirst. Cadbury Mark of the Year, McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with Cheese, and Mitsubishi Motors, the award-winning Magna.
Well, whatever happens in the future, I think tonight has been a success. The crowd here were right behind the game. They turned up in good numbers. I think from a television point of view, I found it absolutely fascinating to be able to listen to Lee and also Damien Drum throughout the night.
Well, I think that gave us a great insight as to how the coach thinks when he's in the coaching box. I think Lee really enjoyed his role again tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw him back coaching an AFL side soon. And Damien
Don't say
Drum,
that, I want him on the couch.
Well, I know you want him on the couch, but Damien Drum also, I guess we've seen in recent times where Neil Danaher, Rodney Eade, coaches of the Allies, have then been recruited by an AFL team. And I guess we heard some interesting things from Damien Drum tonight. So I reckon they both did a particularly good job. And I think that people out there, the footy fans, really were the great winners tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that was the situation. Now, Lee, we've got a quick moment with you. Lee Matthews with Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bruce. Very happy coach here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I suppose 25...
Finish that roll, mate.
Yeah, I know. About the 25-minute mark of the third quarter when the game was within a kick. So the guys, you know, the last quarter and a bit really sort of went away. But so the end result was what we wanted, I guess. But certainly the Allies were fantastic. I guess that's their work ethic, and that sort of just made it a really tough game. So they should be proud of themselves. But I'm certainly proud of the Victorian guys to produce under pressure, not panic when it could have, you know, when the game wasn't quite going the way all the, you know, pre-game.
It was pressure on the Vicks, wasn't there, really?
Oh, no doubt about that, yeah. Well, I guess there was not a lot to gain, but a lot to lose, and there's a lot of pressure in that, and I don't think we started okay, then we sort of just really didn't keep going, but certainly the end result was fine, so I'm happy with that.
Now, pretend you're on the couch on Monday night with Bruce, and Bruce can ask you this question: do you enjoy the coaching side of things?
Oh, it's a fantastic game about this stage of the day.
Thanks very much, mate.
Good, mate.
I wonder if Lee noticed the mic. I was going to ask him that, but there's tomorrow's match, South Australia and WA. Just check your local guides there. It's a 4:10 start, I think, local time, but check your local guides for details. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Tim. In the end, Victoria by 53 points.
This has been a 7 Sports production.